What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and to all of you new subscribers out there, I definitely appreciate you joining the Mustang Hunter family. And of course, hopefully you enjoyed this episode because this was voted on by you guys out there. I posted on a community page wondering which jammer I should go over, and there was a tie between my premiums and imports. I definitely thought the Ferraris were going to be up there, but they weren't. That could be on a later episode. And if you guys enjoy this, comment down below once you get through this one, because we're going to start out with some heavy hitters of the Nissan world, the king of JDM, and it's the Skyline. So don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, especially after seeing this beauty, the R33 in this beautiful maroon metallic. This is just gorgeous. I do have a multiple variations of this one. Of course, the right-hand drive is where it's at, especially being in the JDM world. This is just a beautiful one. They did the tampos nicely on this. The taillights are done. Just beautiful. And this is just starting, guys. We are going to be jumping into the R35s next, but I thought we should start it out with some R33 love for this one, of course. And speaking of R35s, these are the Liberty Walk versions that have been out, and they are definitely the hot casting out right now, especially in the JDM world. But who doesn't love a wide body R35? This thing is gorgeous. Of course, being in the red finish with the black J5s, definitely an awesome one. There are multiple recolors of this casting, which we'll go over. But man, this thing is just beautiful. The Godzilla of all Skylines, the R35 is it. It's just a beast of a car, well built. And yeah, that's all I have to say. And then of course, after the red, you do have the recolor. And this isn't going in any order, guys. This is just going how I have it in the jammer. But you got the blue one. This thing is beautiful. And I love how the blue really makes the red line of the GTR grille really stand out more than the red. Of course, it did tie in a little too closely to the color of the car, which kind of concealed it to the eye. I think the blue makes more of the tampo stick out, especially like taillights. Even though I love red, I think other colors of castings with details really makes or breaks a casting. Because when you have red, it washes it out, and then it just looks like you have some silver taillights on this one. But you got the blue one, of course, with the red. And then moving on to the white one. Now this livery is super clean. I think they did a phenomenal job just making it simple. Of course, this is just a white enamel. There's no pearl, no metallic flake in it. But this thing is beautiful, man. Love this. Just love it. I don't know. It's very simple, but at the same time, they could have thrown some taillight tampos. They really lacked on this one. And then, of course, they did it again on a blue one. Here's the blue color variation of it. And again, they did not put taillight tampos. You can see a lot of the casting details, some high and low spots in the paint. That's just a defect. I wouldn't really consider that an error. It's really just quality control on Mattel's part. But if I had to choose out of the R35 Liberty Walks, I think I would have to go with this blue one. I think this one captures the casting a little bit better than the white and blue itself. The taillights just stand out a lot better. The details look cleaner. And they just, I don't know, it looked like they kind of rushed on these right here. But of course, every casting has their flaws. We're going to go a little bit older in the R35 releases. Now these are, I don't know which year. This is a C25, so 2008 was A. So this is 2010's release of an R35. So if you guys haven't realized the codes on the bottom, the C25, so 2008 was the letter A, and then every year it goes through the alphabet. So C would be 2010, the 25 is the 25th week of the year. So you can just calculate and figure out which month this came out in. But black, of course, looks good. This casting's not in the best of shape. I do need to clean it up and detail it more, but I mean, you got the J5s in chrome, very simple. The back bumper actually has the molded casting between the body panel and the bumper itself. And then later on, they got rid of that body line. And the next one is in pearl white. And this is also, this is B, so 2009. This was a 2009 pearl white with the chrome tint spokes. Now these two castings are fairly old. I mean, 2010, 2009, fairly out there. But at the same time, you're not going to really see these too often. The details look really good. The taillights were there. License plate, of course, says Nissan on it. You got the GTR badge. The main things you really, really need. And I do like the fact that they have the clear lenses attached to the headlights. If they only just kept up with it and detailed every single one they came out with, I think it would look good. Then, of course, you have the silver one. This is also a 2009. This was the 37th week of it, whereas the other one was week 4, so still in January when the white one came out. But this one is also an older casting. But yeah, definitely love the R35s, guys. I'm a huge JDM fan, avid Mustang enthusiast, but overall just a major gearhead. Love cars. If it has the right setup, the paint, the wheels, everything about it, if it's all flowing good and it's a well-built car and it's super fast, I'm gonna like it. If it's slow but it looks good, I'm still gonna like it. I'm just a car guy, and that is just that. And then moving on from this version, we go on to the Guaczilla, which was Tanner Fox's R35. Now this was a heavy one when I first started getting into JDMs as far as collecting goes. I was trying to stick mainly with Mustangs, but when you see JDMs like this, especially Tanner Fox, he did have some couple Hot Wheels releases. This one, the Porsche 911, which came out in satin black and gold. Two very legendary and iconic cars for a young YouTuber. I mean, that's crazy. But a lot of people weren't a fan of this one. I love the color, the lime green fading into that like almost smoky charcoal look. But you still have the lenses blacked out. You have the details of the heat extractor. But then you're lacking the tail lights. That was the biggest thing. And then you had another one. Now this, as you look on the back, that is the bumper variation. You can see the little fender vents on the rear bumper, on the lower valance next to the back wheel. And then you have another Tanner Fox, and this one is the bumper variation. Now there are variations upon variations to mini castings, but if you look on this back bumper, there's no vents. So these are two bumper variation R35 Tanner Foxes of the Guaczilla, and I believe after that R35s there were variations to each bumper. So definitely look at yours. If you have two, don't just think you have two. Check your bumpers, because you'll have one without the vents and then you'll have one with the vents. So two bumper variation R35s, and then you have the Kroger exclusive, which was in black and red. Such a beautiful one. I think this was the coolest release for the R35s aside from the yellow. I think the yellow one looks good, but black and red always looks menacing. But this was a Kroger one, I believe in 2021. And they brought back the taillight tampos, so it looks really good on this casting for sure. And then you had the recolor in yellow. That is beautiful. It's so loud and vibrant. It just screams at you. The details of the front end really stand out on that bold and bright yellow. But you got J5s on this one. I think it would have looked good, especially with some lace wheels or maybe some big 10 spokes on there. But either way, it still looks good. And then, of course, you do have the pearl white one, which was the anniversary edition of the R35. Pearl white with the red stripe going down the center. Now, the super of this one came out in Spectra Flame blue. So they definitely did a huge color flip from mainline to the super. Typically supers look exactly or pretty close to the mainline, same color, but with the R35 they went white and red, and then for the super was blue, and it was beautiful. I do have that one, it's still on card, but this one is, yeah, it's just like all the other R35s. They're just gorgeous. We do have some majorette. This one's actually a wheel swap. This was sent in to me. And I think it came out good. The 10 spokes look amazing on it. It does have opening doors. Do have some really good details on it. And then I ended up finding another one for a factory setup. So there's the one with the Hot Wheels 10 spoke wheel swap. And then you have the majorette version right here with the original wheels on it. So they both look phenomenal. I love that burnt orange on it. I think the wheels look good. But it's definitely one that was screaming for a wheel swap. Look at those. That is hideous. But then again, Hot Wheels did come out with the burnt orange one, and it was this one. This is another beautiful casting as well. Gotta love burnt orange. I think any casting that comes out in this color just looks great. You got the gray J5s on this one, which was a nice touch to it because it wasn't overly done. It wasn't blacked out. They could have just gone basic. But at least you got tampos front and rear. As far as the headlight goes, they are transparent. And this one is K19. So you can figure out the math starting out with A. And then you got another one. This is a charcoal metallic with black tin spokes. Same livery as the yellow and the Kroger exclusive, along with the anniversary one. And of course, if you have this one, you also have to have the bumper variation to it. So that's the vented one. This is the non-vented one. So 2 bumper variations for this color as well. So like I always say, guys, look at your castings. Even if you're out there and you're like, oh, I have it already, just look at the differences because there are variations to castings that you probably aren't even tracking. So you got the gray R35s, and then you have another gray R35, but this one doesn't have the stripe on it. This one is just smooth, very clean, very factory looking, and it's got the light gray J5s on it. And then of course you have to follow up with another one. They are slightly different in their own ways. They're basically the same exact casting. And of course, next up we have another majorette. This one is the police livery. Of course, it has those ugly wheels on it, but it is an honorable mention. You can't have an R35 collection without at least having the R35 police version straight from Japan. So definitely a great casting to have in the collection, especially if you're a JDM freak. It'll be a great addition. Now we're going to be switching things up just a little bit, going with the Nissan Leaf. This one is the silver metallic, and it came out in 4 different colors so far. This one I believe was the first one. I think this one's probably the best, and I think you could see by the next one. You have some really nice headlight details. The wheel choice is good. Wish there were some taillight ones, because when you come into the red one, which is also another nice one, it's good being red and black and all, but they got rid of the headlight tampos, and that is what makes or breaks a casting. Sometimes you can have a perfect one and they just miss the details, and that is what matters to a lot of collectors. I know there's ways you can customize them, get some tampos, put them on there, but sometimes we just want one that is just done. If you did it right the first time, why change it the next time? And that's what they did on the red one. They got rid of all the front details. They did it again on the black one. So here's the black one. I believe that's the Kroger exclusive. But I do like that it's completely murdered out. It kind of gets away with it because you can just say, oh, it's all blacked out. Even if it had tampos, I would black out the headlights anyways. But that one's really clean looking, very stealthy. Then of course, here comes the blue one. And it's not in any order, guys, but the blue one. They definitely missed out on the headlights yet again on this one. And they could have done a better job like the first one. The first one was at least done right, but sometimes we can't always get what we want. Now switching it up again, guys, staying in the Nissan realm, but we're going with the S15. Now this is a first edition. This one's got the chrome interior, chrome 10 spokes. Of course, you have that really nice chrome intercooler in the front bumper, heat extractors, really sweet deco. But then it came out again as a first edition with FTEs on it. Now the FTEs, I feel like they're harder to come by, and FTEs were very special based off of the nickel-plated axle, less friction on the wheels. They were so much quicker on the track. And if you don't believe me, check out our racing videos with our 2005 Mustang driven by Gary. He has the FTE 2005, and that thing is super fast. But yeah, it goes to show that Hot Wheels was doing their thing for a while, and it cost them too much money, So they got rid of the nickel-plated axle, but they went through 2 wheel variations. They went through this one, which looks like an OH5, and then they went through the Trap 5s, same color FTE2s. But will we see those again? Probably not. But these S15s are gorgeous. And then of course you have to have the recolor or just a new color in this silver metallic. Of course you got gold accents, gold intercooler, gold 5 spokes, the PR5s. But it's still a casting you don't see too often, and I wish they brought this one back. They might bring them in different forms, different variations, in a drift series, but I think this original one from the first editions were just very, very cool. So that was the first 26 cars of my Jammer. Now the next ones are some very clean Nissans. These are the 180SXs. I think it's a 96. Yep, 96 180SX, Hot Wheels livery, blue metallic, blue tinted glass. Just another fan favorite. I love these cars. I've always been a fan. I knew people that had them in high school. They're just one of those cars that were like $1,200, and now they're super hot out there. If anything comes out with a 180SX, a 300ZX, or any type of Nissan, they're going to be hot. And of course this was a beautiful one, but then it got better with this one. This is gorgeous, beautiful red metallic, black PR5s. This thing just looks clean. This is what I would expect rolling down the street, just very subtle, but at the same time just well done. I think it looks great. The tail lights are done, some really nice details. But then going back, you have the Advan. This was in white. And then they started throwing aero discs on these things, which I'm not a fan of. Some castings can pull it off. Honda Civic City Turbo 2s, those ones can kind of pull off the aero discs. Some drift cars. But this is a clean livery. I'm a big fan of it. But I think the black one is better. You guys comment down below. Which one is better, the white or the black? I'll let you comment down below, but I'm a huge fan of both of these. The 180s look great, but I think if you go back a little further, I think these were before, is the Greddy. Now this one is awesome. It's super clean street style livery on there. Of course, Greddy is well known in the race industry, and of course tied directly to imports and stuff. You got Toyo tires. Very clean wheel setup, but they forgot the tampos again on this one. But they came out with another recolor, and it was this one, black. I think I like the white one a little bit more. Let's go ahead and put that one back on there for you guys to look at side by side. I think the white one's a lot cleaner. The black one, I don't know. It might just be too much black. You can't really see the casting for what it is. But still, it's a 180SX, super clean. Can't have a JDM collection without these cars. And then going on to another fan favorite, the 510 wagon. Here we go, black livery with the Momo. Of course, this was a controversial car a couple years ago when I lit one on fire for Datsun Man Diecast, but it was a lot of fun. I did make sure I still had one. I wasn't going to ruin the only black Datsun I had, but of course, when you have the black one, you have to have the Kroger exclusive, and here it is. Nice yellow, same livery, of course the Momo. You got some black Steelies on there. Yeah, I was able to find a whole bunch of these while I was in Arizona, being that we had Kroger, or Fry's as we called it down there, but I'm missing out on all the Kroger exclusives now. Luckily, I have great friends who look out. We work out trades or deals, and I do manage to still get Kroger exclusives or Myers, but I really miss the hunt. I loved coming across Kroger exclusives out in the wild. There's just nothing to it. And of course, with the yellow, there's the red. I think the red one's probably the cleanest. Of course, it's very signature to the Momo. Everything Momo is red with the yellow and black stripes. But yeah, gotta have the 510s. Next 510 is also a clean one. It's this one with the number 0 meatball. Very clean. Now I don't know if there's any variations to this. I've heard there are to the grill, I've heard there's a dotted matrix. I've heard there's a cross matrix to the grill. I haven't been able to find any. There's a small pattern, large pattern, but I probably had them at some point, but I don't have them anymore. And then, of course, from the multi-pack, I think this was the Nightburner series. You have the ones with the blossom tree, super elegant looking. I love the tan. It's just, yeah, this thing is awesome. But very clean. A lot of people weren't a fan of this one. I liked it a lot. I love the satin finish to it. MC5s are okay, but a wheel swap can fix that. And then going on to this one, I believe this was a mystery model. I could be wrong. But yeah, you have this one right here with the checker flag on the roof, number 3, chrome base. Yeah, I don't remember if it is. If it is a mystery model, comment down below, but I want to say it is. Just don't remember. Then, of course, you have another Nightburners release in this really nice slate gray with the gray wheels and gold lace wheel. I don't know, it's a weird combination. I don't know why they went gray on them. It does not fit any theme at all. I get the brown ones for like off-road, the white ones for snow, but gray, I don't know. Even if you look at sun damaged tires, they're not gray like that. But then I do have 2 of them because one's in rough condition and they are not grill variations, but I do have 2 of them. They are some very clean Datsuns for sure. And then of course you have the 51st anniversary in this satin silver metallic. Very, very clean. And then you got the Surf Patrol in baby blue. Now, not a fan of the chrome red 5 spokes, but I get they're just trying to tie in the livery, kind of make some contrast colors to the casting, but not my favorite. It's not my favorite. I still like the red number 0. That thing is super clean. Along with the Momos, those ones are nice. And then getting away from the wagons, we still have the 510s. This one is the Seafoam Green. This is the main line of the Super. And then, of course, I had the Super, found it out in the wild, traded it away for a mail-in Laurel, Nissan Laurel. Don't regret it. I know these cars as the Supers were selling for like $200 to $250. And a local guy was selling it for $175, and then that same day I went and found it for $1. So just be patient, guys. Don't spend crazy money on Supers, especially if they're fresh. They will come. If not, you can work out trades. And then of course you do have the Momo 510. This one I got from a car show. They were handing them out the front door. Of course, I had to grab it. They were actually giving it to kids when they walked in. My daughter grabbed one. I seen that one and I was like, hey man, can you please just trade it for that red one? And I was able to get it for free from a car show. So this was one that I was never able to find. And if you do find them, they go from like $5 to $10. So definitely keep yours. Hold on to them, not for value, but just hold on to them, because sometimes you give away stuff and then you regret it later on. Then you have a mystery model. This is number 3. Don't remember which wave it was. I believe it was 2022's wave, or maybe 23. Could be wrong. Comment down below. But beautiful blue metallic. You got the gold MC5s. Very clean. But now, leaving the Datsuns, we're going to be going into some Toyotas. And I know you guys know which one I'm talking about, because it is the legend on the road. Aside from the R35, this is the king of them all, the Toyota Supra. This one is the Falcon, super clean. I only have a few variations to the Supra. I have a couple premiums, but nothing beats a Falcon livery like a Supra with it. So you have this one. Then of course you have the hero car from Fast and the Furious. Now this one was in a bag that I bought for like $3. It was like 100 cars, and this one was loose inside it. It's in rough shape, it's chipped up. And I do have 3 different versions of this Supra on card, 3 different card variations, as well as this one. So I was thinking about making a custom and making this one the junkyard trailer one that he rolls into in the movie where it's all burnt. You gotta have the white one. Everyone loved this one, including me, and I had to grab it. I do have the premium version of this, but the headlights were done phenomenally. The details on point. The lace wheels are perfect. The tail lights, they did this one really good. They did a really good job on this one. And let's see, what year is this one out of? So it's J46. We're currently on S. So yeah, I don't know which one this is. And then of course you got this one, emerald green, 2 different color wheels. That's how they come. They're not errors. But you have a recolor in this one. But I'm definitely digging it. Don't like the yellow tinted glass. I'm not really a big fan of colored glass, but some castings can pull it off. But you do have the yellow and gray PR5s, whereas the recolor has the gold 10 spokes, white in the rear, and orange glass. Not a fan of that. If they just went black or maybe just chrome, it would have looked good. But either way, it's a Supra. We all love them. Everyone loves a 2J. So there's that one. And then you got the red. This one's also sweet looking. It's kind of similar to the one that was just released, except the one that was just released in red actually has headlight details. But the livery on this one is awesome. And so I'm just going to go ahead and show you the latest one, the latest and greatest. Here's the most current release. I think there's more coming out, of course. But washed out rear end, no tampos, but they did the headlights at least. But it's still a clean Supra. And then of course guys, last but definitely not least is the mystery model Supra with the NOS livery on here. Check that out, man. That thing is super clean. At least you have some casting details for the headlights. It's not completely washed out, so the distraction of the livery kind of keeps your eyes focused on everything else. But there we go guys, this was my jammer full of Nissans. There are plenty more jammers full. If you guys like it, give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you want a part 2 so you can see more imports. But we definitely got to get to premiums, some Ferraris, Lamborghinis. Those will be in further episodes. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Until next time, this is the Mustang Hunter. Peace.